the intellect, the emotions. In short, he said the totality of the human person. When you do that, you're educating the person. And it has to do with so many things. And then some other scholars to put it very clear that what is education? Education simply means the acquisition of knowledge, skills, and attitude. For those of us who are educationists, when we talk about that, it's very clear. We're talking about 3 domains of study, education. The cognitive has to do with what? Knowledge. The psychomotor has to do with what? Application of knowledge, which is skills. And then the affective domain has to do with what? The behavior, the attitude. If one has acquired skills, if one has acquired knowledge, that should be seen. The outcome should be very clear in the affective. The behavior will not be the same. Somebody who has gone through your school and has come out should not be the same. There should be a change. His behavior or his civility in the society should be different from somebody who has not gone to school. And so that is what it is. And so in education, we talk about the management of educational resources. But no one will manage educational resources very well when he or she has not been equipped and prepared to manage those resources. And what are those resources? Number one, the human resource. How do you manage the human resource of your educational establishment at all levels? How do you manage it? How do you manage it? The human resource. The personnel you work with, the non-teaching and teaching staff, how do you manage them? You must be equipped to manage them. You must be so sharp, so trained in the act of what? Managing personnel. That is why in educational management we call it what? Human resource management. You plan for your resources, your human resource. You organize for your human resource. You coordinate your human resource. You induct your human resource. You understand what I'm talking about now? You supervise your human resource. You motivate your human resource. But by the time you are not trained in the art and science of educational management, how will you do all the bidding? It is very difficult. And so the result is what? Inefficiency. What about material resources? Both instructional, both infrastructure. Give it a name. You must, be trained and understand clearly how these materials are managed. Incidentally, I teach school plant management, which has to do with the totality of the life of the school. Recently, I put a new book. It's here. It's outside here. And some person have already picked it. Exposing administrators to the nitty-gritty of managing the school plan, most especially facilities. Go to schools, you see a mess. A school that was maybe managed properly by a former principal or head teacher that was good at the art of managing school facilities. But the one that has come on board now is not good at it. And so when you see death everywhere, the walls are mutilated, the dormitory is messed up, the hostel accommodation is a pity, and all that. But we are managing students, we are managing education. How effective is your management of education? That is the question. Another resource is what? Is finance. We have a lot of taboos in recent times. Everywhere, some place, most especially in public schools, I don't know so much in college schools, but I believe we are all human beings. And sometimes anything can happen. No be so? How are you managing the finances of your school? How? How you manage the finances? It may baffle you that if you take stock or you make your findings, some school finances are managed by people who are not qualified to handle the finances of the school, both in training, both in stature, both in knowledge, both in whatever, give it a name. And so how can you expect a school to become effective when the finances are managed by somebody who is ignorant? Somebody who doesn't have the know-how. How will you expect it? And that's why you may be having situations of war, mismanagement of funds. You may be having situations of misappropriation of funds. Sometimes when one misappropriates funds, misappropriation of funds is different from siphoning funds. There's a difference. Something is meant for facility. You take it for human resource. It's misappropriation. You're not appropriated properly. And that may result in so many damage. The human resource may need urgent attention. And that's why that money or that fund is appropriated. And then you divert it to school facility. Somebody will die now. The school will die. There will be a problem. Sometimes it's meant for salaries, and then you are diverting to build a hall. when the teachers who are the brain behind education, brain behind teaching and learning are starved, and then you are moving into a hall. Which one is more important, the hall or the teachers who are giving the teaching and the learning? These are fundamental questions that borders on war effective management. So until you are in the, in the cycle of training that has to do with what effective management or managers, they'll be able to know what needed to be done at the right time, at the appropriate time, and all that. Most especially in terms of management of war, material or facility management. Another resource, quickly, because there's no time, I will highlight it. Quickly, has to do with time management. Do you know that the problem of some of our Kali schools nowadays, all my training is in Kali school from primary to secondary, only university that was not a Kali university. But the training we were given in the yesteryears, I can still beat my chest and say, no, it was wonderful. I finished from St. Andrews Secondary School at Dikbo, in the local government of Benue State. St. Andrews, London. And the kind of training that was given to us by our teachers, by the principal, some Indians were there, some other foreigners were there as teachers. The kind of training we received, the kind of preparation we were prepared for the society, the kind of time management that was in place. The question now is, as administrators, how do you manage time? How do you manage time? How will you say you are effective when time